Darren here, and on today's episode of WotC Academy, we're going to have a little bit of like a half and half here. We're going to have like a half how to change the minimap, and then we're also going to have a little bit of a let's talk about the minimap. So going really quickly into changing the minimap, this is super easy. You don't need to hit the back button and go and do this. And I literally earlier today, at the day that I'm recording this, there was a game that I should have lost, but won because the person actually did this while they were driving, and they could not see where they were going, and they rolled right into a lake and died. And we won the game. It should have been a super easy win for that person, but because he hit the back button and did this, he did not see what was in front of him, and he died. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen to everyone, but it will happen to you eventually. So here's what a really easy way to do this without having to, block your field of view is by simply holding on the Xbox controller. I'll also put a diagram up of the PlayStation controller, but whatever is the back button equivalent on the PlayStation controller, I believe that is what you need to use as well. I'll confirm with my associate shopper Mir. But by holding the back button, you see that the map has changed to the compass map. This is really nice. You can do this on the fly while in game. So, here we are. I've locked it. I'm locked it. I'm driving around. I've changed the map. Oh, I've changed it back. I'm still going around. Oh, I changed it back. See, it does not take a whole lot of time at all. Now, let's talk about a little bit about some of the features on the minimap, because I know some of you might be, asking me, since I'm talking about the minimap, why not include this? So, if you're looking here at the bottom right, I, again, implore you to focus your attention on the bottom right hand corner. I'll see if I can blow this up too while I'm doing this, but no guarantees. Is this white line. This white line that you see, that is where your gun is facing. Now, unfortunately, I cannot properly demonstrate this on this map, but this white line does have a limit. And at the end, the white line from your arrow to the end of that white line, that is how far your round will go in the game before it no longer registers as an object. Your gun does have a range. Depending on how big the map is, you might actually see that your gun does have a range. So that's where your gun, that is where your gun is facing. Now you see the shaded blue part, that is your field of vision. That is what you see here. You see when so this is what you see, but when I zoom in, that field of vision also narrows down as well. So just as a focus, that is your field of vision. That is where you are looking oriented on the map. Now, I do believe I also cover this with the proxy spotting as well, but this very small circle dotted line that you see around your tank there on the map, that is your 50-meter auto detection range. So whatever vehicle or anything that is within this 50-meter invisible ring around your tank will be automatically detected by you. And then this larger dotted circle is pretty much your spotting, the range at which vehicles will probably spot you. So anything outside that is not going to probably spot you. Anything inside that circle will probably detect you if you are in a position to be detected. In many cases, as you can see as I fired, that ring expanded. So when you fire, that detection ring actually expands to encompass a larger area because you have fired, you have done something in order to give yourself away. Now, real quick, there is another way for you to change the minimap structure. I highly recommend you do not do this in a game. If you for some reason do not feel comfortable hitting this simple button here, you can go back into the controls and you can go to the game settings and toggle the minimap that way. This is a very outdated way of doing this. Now that you can just simply hit a button in game, there is no need to go into the control systems and doing this. And it even says right below it, hold the back button to swap between minimaps. And yes. Now, we're going to talk about the mini-maps here. Now, a lot of people kind of debate between what map is right and wrong here. And I do have a couple demonstrations that I'm going to show, just real, couple quick clips with some commentary about those. Um, Basically, neither one is wrong to use, especially since you can just swap between them. But I do believe that they have their set purposes. Um, I like to call the compass map the tactical view or the tactical map, and the large map the strategic map. I call the compass map the tactical map because in terms of tactics, that is, I like to deem that what is happening in your immediate area. What is happening to you, that will directly affect you. So, just cutting over to a clip here after I'm done explaining, you'll see why. The larger map I like to call the strategic view because the strategic view pretty much means what is going to happen or affect you eventually, what is the overall situation on the map. And I'm pulling this a little bit from Sun Tzu stuff, but I'm not going to dive into that whole explanation. But the strategic view pretty much gives you a broad view of what's going on in your game overall and allows you to make tactical decisions based on that, while the tactical view allows you to make decisions based on what is affecting you right in your vicinity. So we're going to cut on over now to some quick demonstration / explanations of the definition of the tactical view versus the strategic view. And like I said, both of them have their place. I just feels that urban maps benefit a little bit more from swapping all the time between strategic and tactical view, while in an open field, kind of like Prokhorovka, having the strategic view active almost all the time is more beneficial there. But let's go take a look at those examples. So here we have an example of using the strategic view. Now, pretty much, again, what I use strategic view is, wide open places, not a whole big, compared to a whole big CQB environment where, having the tactical view might be more beneficial. And in a big open environment like Kazarine here, I'm out in the open. I'm not in the absolute brawling cluster that is down there in the trench, so I don't really need to have the tactical view. The strategic view is much better because of the fact that since it's wide open everywhere else but the trench, it's necessary to keep an eye on the tank movements around the focal point in the middle of the map. So that way if you are in need of relocating because, the enemy might be getting around your flank. Something that, the tactical view doesn't very provide. Unless you switch to the strategic, the big map, or you hit the back button, which again I don't really think is a good idea because I have seen many people take a fall into a lake and then throw their own game completely by accident because the pulling up the big map and the roster blocked their vision. So the strategic view is good for keeping an eye on the big picture of the flow of the game and each team, while the tactical view does not provide this. So here we have an example of using the tactical view. This is very good for close quarters environments because it's pretty much a zoomed in portion of the map that is pretty much in the area that can directly affect you. And this is good for kind of finding out, if a tank is hiding behind cover or how many tanks are in this one location. Just a whole bunch of information that is more easily available for you to see and analyze than what you might find in the strategic view. And you can see this here that I'm able to, while I'm still able to use the proxy spot system to get an idea of tanks and stuff like that, I can use the small map to get an idea of, if, while I'm focusing on the tanks in front of me, like this VK and the Death Star that's on the other side of this rubble pile, I can use the tactical view to find out, keep an eye on that medium tank back there that is behind all these tanks in front of me, I can keep an eye on him of when he rolls out of cover. So, I may be focusing on these tanks in front of me, but, if the opportunity to shoot that medium tank because I'm looking at his movements on that mini-map, then I'm going to take that opportunity if it's presented to me. So the tactical view is good for making decisions that will affect you in your immediate vicinity, while the strategic view can offer that, but to a very limited capacity compared to the detail of information you can get in the tactical view. Again, just as a reminder here that both map types have their purpose and place and advantages over one another, but picking one solely over the other does not always mean that it's the best idea. So being able to adapt your map to the environment you are in is more critical than just picking which map is better. And that concludes today's video on Minimaps. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already and want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. I also would like to apologize again for the audio at the first half of the video, as I was using the wrong recording mic for that video. But until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy.